Hey guys, so today we'll be doing lesson 35, and
it's about the two brothers, Judah and Joseph.
Okay, and we're going to be talking about Genesis section 38 to 39. So we're going to explain the contrasting experiences of the lives of Judah and Joseph, as Lindsay said before.
Okay, so we're gonna read you a scenario, and after we say it, you need to, we'll call on someone, and you need to think of the choices that are available to a person in this scenario and what short-term and long-term consequences may follow these choices.
Okay, so our scenario is going to be this. Okay, so a friend tells you that it is okay to engage in sexual behaviors together because you love and trust each other. Well, I don't think it's a friend, first of all, but what do you guys think? What would you do?
So what would be the short-term or long-term consequences of this type of scenario if you chose to do this or not to do this? What do you think?
Well, I could regret it.
What about you, Christian?
I just think you couldn't, you wouldn't want to know that you did that. Like she said, you would regret it. You wouldn't want to look back at that. You'd want to forget it.
So in this, so we learned about two brothers, Judah and Joseph, who made very different choices when they were in tempting situations. So we're going to first talk about Judah. So after...
So after Joseph was sold to the Ishmaelites, one of his older brothers, Judah, married a Canaanite woman, a daughter of Shua. Judah and his wife had 3 sons together, Onan, and Shelah. The oldest son, married a woman named Tamar, but he died before they had children. According to the customary law at the time, a widow who had no children had claim on her husband's next oldest brother or his closest living male relative. This man, if asked by the widow, was obligated to marry her and raise up seed or produce children on behalf of his deceased brother. This practice is known as a levirate marriage. Onan married Tamar but also died soon after. Judah then promised Tamar that Shelah could be her husband when he was grown. However, when Shelah was old enough, Judah did not keep his promise to Tamar. Tamar then resorted to deception in order to bear children by Judah, who had the responsibility to provide a husband and children for her.
So I'm going to read Genesis 38:13 through 18. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because she had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, what thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge, till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet and thy bracelets, and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it to her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him.
So,
Sneaky, sneaky.
yeah.
So,
What are some choices that Tamar and Judah made? Hey you.
He chose to pretend to be a harlot.
That's true, Tamar.
What about Judah?
Judah was just walking on the street and he's like, oh, they're a prostitute, let me go hook him up.
Sad.
So Tamar's choice to pretend to be a harlot so she could become pregnant by Judah violated the law of chastity. Tamar knew that her actions might have serious consequences, such as being sentenced to death. By requesting Judah's signet, bracelets, and staff, Tamar gathered evidence to show who the father of her child was. How did Judah respond to this temptation? Well, I think we kind of already answered that. He gave into it.
Yep. So.
Wait, that's Joseph.
That's Joseph.
Oops. Wrong guy. Ooh, that's ugly. Oh, wait. Okay. So he immediately gave in to and he
Okay, so in Genesis 38:19 through 23, it's explaining that Judah sent his friend with a kid, a young goat, to pay the harlot and to retrieve his signet, bracelets, and staff, but his friend could not find her. It's kind of like, he's fulfilling like his promise to Tamar that he would send that. And at this point, Judah still does not know that Tamar was the harlot. Yeah. So, oh wait, do we need to?
So,
yeah.
he sent his friend, as you said. So, why do you think Judah sent a friend to pay the harlot for him?
Carla.
Why do you think he sent a friend and he didn't go himself to pay the harlot, the prostitute?
Just to keep all his sin a secret.
It's like someone's following along.
Perfect wording. He's trying to keep it on the down low.
Keep it
Low
key.
key.
Keep it low key.
Okay.
It's funny, when these kinds of sins, you regret like 3 minutes of your life for the rest of your life.
Okay. So Roger, can you read Genesis 38:24 through 26 aloud?
Yeah, sure. What chapter was it?
38.
What verse was it?
24 through 26.
Yeah.
And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she went to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, am I with child? And she said, Discern, I pray thee, whose are these? Signet and bracelets and staff. And Judah acknowledged them and said, She hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son. And he knew her again no more. It came to pass in time of her.
No, that's it.
Oh,
good. Sorry.
You're good.
Okay, so, how might you have felt at his feet?
So now we're in Joseph. Okay. Okay, so in in Genesis 39, it talks about how Joseph became into the possession of the Ishmaelites, and we kind of learned about that yesterday, of how he was sold. Will everyone read 39, or chapter Genesis 39 verses 1 through 2 to themselves? And then I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, time's up.
So what happened to Joseph after he was sold to the Ishmaelites?
Robert.
Went to his master's house.
Who was the master?
Potiphar.
Yes, good job.
And
Okay.
he was a prosperous man.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to read 39 through 6?
Mm-hmm.
And as she reads this, look for how the Lord blesses Joseph.
And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made his overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored.
How did the Lord bless and prosper Joseph?
Like he gained the trust of Potiphar, like even everything. He shared everything with him, excluding the bread that he ate.
What do you think goodly person and well favored means?
He was a good person
Yeah.
and well liked.
Okay, so the first temptation that we read about is about, I just forgot his name,
Potiphar.
Potiphar?
Potiphar? Okay, that guy's wife. Joseph catches the attention of his wife, and so she
Tries to
seduce him. Anyway, so does anyone know, like, we're gonna summarize it because there's a lot in this lesson. So he, so, yeah, you can
we're just
We just read 7, 8, 9. I think.
yeah,
That's,
we're gonna read verses 7, 8, 9.
7.
Okay. So, and it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me. But he refused, and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?
So what was his response to the temptation of the wife?
He was refusing to do it.
So he refused.
temptation. But not only that, if you keep reading, Like in verse 10, it came to pass that she spake to Joseph day by day that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. So it wasn't just one time.
Yeah.
Right, but she kept every day. And sometimes the devil wins us over by tempting us every single day, and we eventually were like, okay, I'm just going to try it one time, you know.
Okay, so, and why do you think he refused the temptation? I mean, some people refuse because, you know, they have good morals, but sometimes that's not strong enough to refuse temptation. It said it in the scriptures, in the verses. I'll just tell you. He, because of his loyalty to the Lord, and it was not God's will that he was not going to do it. So the next temptation, or not temptation, the next, we're going to read like hardship that he has. Do you want me to flip through? Yeah. Okay. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house were within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garments in her hands and fled and got him out. So what did Joseph do when the wife got
He finally
demanded?
He finally was tempted to do it. He finally.
No.
He never gave in. No, he left.
He ran away.
Oh, he left. Okay.
Yeah, he got him out.
Mhm.
That means he got himself out.
Okay.
What can we learn from Joseph's example about what to do when we find ourselves in tempting situations?
Get out of them.
Okay.
Get out of
Just
there.
say that.
We should just say it.
Okay. If we remove ourselves from tempting situations, then we will have greater ability to resist temptations. So it's a lot more easier to not do it if we're not even there to do it.
Right. You can't drink if you're not at the bar.
Okay, so in Genesis 39:13-18, we're just going to summarize it. So basically what happened was Potiphar's wife lied and accused Joseph of seeking to have inappropriate relations with her. So,
Marley, will you read 39:19 through 20?
And it came to 19 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there as a prisoner.
So okay, that kind of sucks. So looking for what happened to Joseph. Wait.
we also have a scripture mastery that we kind of skipped, which is, how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? It's in Genesis 39. That's just a little summary of it, but yeah, it's a little fun fact.
So what happened to Joseph much in this type of, not so much, well, like this temptation, but also this like trial in being with these people?
He ended up in jail. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So like Judah picked up a prostitute on the streets, was gonna burn her, but then oops, my bad. And he's free to go. Joseph said no to the temptation, but he's in jail.
He was accused for something he hadn't done.
Right. So it seems like, which one of your, if you were to pick, I'm gonna be Judah or I'm gonna be Joseph, which one's gonna end up in jail? You look at it and think, oh, well, wait a minute. Joseph ended up in jail.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to talk about how Joseph was blessed, because he was, the guy, Potiphar, got really mad, so he went to jail. So Joseph was blessed while in prison. So the Lord was with Joseph the whole time. in verse 21 it says, in 20 it says, and Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and shewed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. So
it's one blessing from that thing.
It's all part of the plan. So like at this point in Joseph's life, he might have been thinking like, I'm here in prison for doing the right thing. But it was all part of God's long view, like his eternal perspective. Because we'll find out later what happens to Joseph.
So in verse 21, the first blessing that he gets is that the keeper grew favor of him. Christian, will you read Genesis 39 verses 22 and 23? And as he reads these, look for more blessings that Joseph was given.
And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with them, and that which he made, the Lord made it to prosper.
So, Haley, what were some blessings, other blessings that happened in these two scriptures?
He showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
He ended up being in charge of the prison. He would run that house.
So do you want to read if we do what?
I got it.
Yeah. So, or what can we do? You want to read that question first?
Do you guys want to share your image or what the quote was that you put on your? Because we times.
Yeah. Right. Let me find it really quick.
So this is the end of our lesson.
And so our quote
It's right here.
is,
Okay.
okay, I got it. We are agents blessed with moral agency and are defined by our divine heritage as children of God, and not by sexual behaviors, contemporary attitudes, or secular philosophies. And that is by Elder David A. Bednar, the quote of the 12 Apostles. Because there's a whole lot more of this lesson, but a lot of the things is that we should not give in to temptation. And that if we do what is right, then the Lord will be with us and help us. So,
You can see
men.
Yeah.
Ooh.
A lot
Difference between brothers.
huge contrast.
Bad. Good.
Bounds here. Stupid.
I like how you use different
Smart.
colors too.
Opposites.
Yes.
Very good, very good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.